Good afternoon to some people on the East Coast and good morning to the people on the West Coast. 11:03 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. Date 3/23 of 2014. We're going to make something very clear about the Nasdaq biotech sector. It's all right here, and here are the individual names in it. That's the actual Nasdaq full unit of the whole rally that has happened. One of the things we're going to take a look at is the Nasdaq biotech sector, and that the Nasdaq biotech sector would be an outperformer back in 2011, but really aggressive in 2012 and 13. We have all of that live analysis right there on stockmarketfunding.com. What I am going to show is this monthly chart of the broader complete Nasdaq biotechnology. Now, I'm going to take the Nasdaq biotech sector right here, and what I'm going to show you that this thing has just been on fire and that it's overbought. However, the stocks that come down from their overbought level, this is a monthly chart, so you know. And we are just going to show people back in calendar 2013 where the breakout really happened up here. And yes, the broader index is overbought, meaning that it has to come down. But that's going to be the first place where we look at getting that long. This is an overbought daily chart in that index. Now, I am going to show here in a minute, I'm going to show the daily chart, which is right here, and we've broken down the 50-day, the 10-day, and the 20-day. This was the lower end of that support level. This is a daily simple moving averages and whatnot on the daily chart. This is a major support level. This was the bottom to where we got in that next high and that big super duper rally in the Nasdaq biotechnology in itself, the whole index. However, when we take a look at the individual names, which we're going to go over, these will be the stocks that will bounce quicker, faster, and still are leadership stocks. So I am also going to show what happened on Friday on a 60-minute chart. That sector sold straight off into Friday, right here on the 21st. And yes, we are oversold on a very short macro time series where we can buy long and then sell them right back. Because number one, we do not get a good opportunity in this sector when it's this oversold on a 60-minute now. And let us be very clear that what I'm going to do is I'm also going to go back to the daily chart. And within that daily chart, we know that we are oversold. In the short term, we broke the 50-day, the 10-day, and the 20-day. 20-day on this particular index is 2740. The 10-day simple moving average is 2686. And most importantly, we broke that 50-day moving average at 2653. Now, we're going to go look at the best of the breed. We're going to look at Biogen, BIIG. That thing has got a major support level here, slightly below. We have, now let's take a look at these MMTs because this is where we're going to make some big money. This one is due for a bounce right away. I want you to take a look at the calendar 2014 where we broke out, but here's also a neckline right here. That 50 simple day moving average on BIIB comes into play. That's 322. This is one of the hottest biotech stocks out there. We've been trading it since the 90s. All right, now we're going to take a look at our next bellwether in this sector, and that's REGN. What a bellwether this one's been. We're also testing that 50-day simple moving average, and that 50-day simple right now is at 311. Yeah, it is. That's a major support level. We know where these things rallied and why they're the best ones to buy on the dips. 50-day moving average, 100-day moving average on the stock is 296. That is a wonderful one. We're also going to go in here and take a look at a couple of others that we know. We're going to take a look at SLXP. Salix Pharmaceuticals. What a rock and roll stock this has been. We traded this thing back when it was $12 or $15 a share. All of them got overbought, and they're going to have a correction within their bull. That's another one that we're going to look at going long. Here's another one. JAZZ. What a rock and roll this stock has been. I mean, we got a little bit of a sell signal as we do. We're below that 50-day moving average. Yes, that 20-day simple moving average on a very short term right here is about to cross over. Technically, they're going to get oversold, but long term, I mean, this is what happens with bull run stocks. The moving averages break down. You get that resistance level. We have a daily sell signal on GAZZ. Now, having said that, we're also going to move in on ILMN, another big rock and roll stock as it is on this daily chart. Testing that 50-day simple moving average right now. Oh, yes, it is. I'm going to draw a trend line right there. We're going to go back and take a look at where this breakout got very aggressive. This is calendar 2014. Yes, it made that 52-week high up there at 100 and what was it there? Oh, close. Yeah, 193, 182.50. So we're below the 10 and the 20 on a daily. These are the support levels. It's got a daily sell signal. Technically, they're pulling back in the bull, and it's the first place we're going to look at getting long. Another stock is in this sector, ALGN Pharmaceuticals, ALXN. Yes, it's testing that 50-day simple moving average, and yes, these were the best stocks to be in, and they're going to come back. They're going to correct. We gapped up over here on a good report. That's that big super gap for calendar 2014. The 50-day simple moving average, the 10 and the 20 are getting violated. Now, let's take a look at another one that we really like and we will be doing is the following. We're going to take a look at another big bellwether called Amgen. And Amgen has been around forever. This is the high. Once again, they all have something in common. This was a 2014 low. I'm simply going to show all of the MMTs here and now that, yes, you're below the 10 and 20 and you got 50-day support here. Any dips down here below this trend line, we're going to be looking at buying this one for a big super trade as we will. There's a few more for us to look at. One of the things we're going to show our MMTs is the today range. That was a $41 range on Biogen, profit taking. Gap up and down was $28 in this bellwether. I just want people to see REGN, once again, $24 range. ALXN, $19 range. GEBA, which we're going to do that chart next, that one there had a $10.83 range. These ranges were profit takers, CLBS, Amgen, LGND. These are the ranges for Friday that these stocks did on the triple witch. This is where we're going to make money. And once again, the today ranges are super duper. And what I mean by that, all of them in here have had profit taking and whatnot. I'm going to go to GEBA. And here it is right now. It's breaking that 50-day simple moving average. We got that 20 and that 40 kind of pointing down. I've got a major trend line for the MMT here and now. We're going to go right there with that support level. Oh, yes, we are. That was the top reversal right here. So we are pulling back to major support levels and whatnot. So any further weakness we're going to get in, let us not forget, though, that 50-day simple was $96 as it was. That 10-day simple was $97. It's broke. Okay. They're going to correct. They're going to pull back. They are going to have great moves. And there is that one right there. Here we go with another one of our Nasdaq biotech stocks. This thing was at $15 a share. It rocked and rolled straight up to the high on Friday was 33.70. This is a great stock. High alert. Yes, it's going to pull back. It is a cancer drug stock. But look at that super gap. Look at that super gap. ECYT. Let it be known that any current short-term dips were buyers right away off of that news. Let us not forget the other super big stock in the biotech is ICPT. And yes, the stock was at $70, and yes, it went to $497. This one has had a great range. I can tell you right now, they all look the same. But you know what? In the short term, this is where the money is going to be made. And this is where the biggest trade is going to be made. Yes, it's below the 20. Yes, it's below the 10. Yes, that rising white line right there is that 50 simple day moving average. This one has some of the best intraday trades around. This is that consolidation. This is that breakout up there. That was that original super duper gap. Yeah, here's the lower end of that trend line right there. And that's where ultimately that support is part of that last gap that ran that thing to 497. All aboard, get on board. 50-day simple moving average at 364, where we're going to get a great bounce and a pop. You heard me. Gilead, GILD, is broke down completely. One of the best rallies. You can take a look here. The 2014, it's sitting on that trend line. You broke. You crossed over the 10. The 20's pointing down. 50-day removes up there. Yes, the 200-day simple movage is there. Yes, they got a lot going for it in their HIV drugs and their hepatitis C drugs that they're rolling out. We've been trading this ever since forever. And I'm just saying it's at a major support level. I just want to let the MMTs know that 200-day simple moving average is at 67.52. And that's the green line down there. And yes, it does have a sell signal. Yes, it's a daily sell signal. But once again, when we capitulate from the profit taking, what does that mean? Capitulate on the profit taking, we're going to get extremely oversold as we are. This is just a daily chart. I'm letting you know how broke that one is, but it will bounce off of those lows. VRTX Pharmaceuticals, big move starting that calendar. What? 2014 high. Yes, we've had profit taking, but just remember, they're not up here and had such a great move because they're a bad company. There's profit taking. What am I going to show? This is testing that 200-day simple moving average on VRTX. And where is that one at? That's at what price? $76.54. That 100-day, that line right there, that 100-day at 74.38. It's sitting right there on it. We do know, though, that yes, we have a very slight sell signal, but when they break these trend lines and come down here and hit, we're going to bounce off of support like bouncing on a trampoline and going straight up. Back around 2005 and 4, Seattle Genix, SGEN, has been on fire. Why? Because they have a lot to offer who? The medical community. That's number one. Number two, just like in all of the others, is that we make these wonderful highs. Remember, they didn't make the highs because they were bad stocks. And you have to understand what profit taking is. These are one of the best bull run sectors, as I said, back in 2012, 2013. Oh, yes. Now, the biotech is on fire, just like it was back in the 90s and the early part of when they were making all their highs in 2000, year 2000. I can tell you right now, we're breaking that 20-day. That 10-day, we're below it. That 50-day simple moving average, I can tell you where that one is. That's at 48.81. And you got to remember that these are the key levels. And when we use our 60-minute charts, this is where we're going to buy with very little amount of risk. And why do I say that? A big bull run in every one of these, they're only pulling back to correct, like any bull run should. Now, that 50-day simple is the key moving in tomorrow morning. These were your double top, reversal, a test. Now we're coming down on heavy volume on what day? 321 on Friday. Here we go with Intermune. And we have owned this one several times. It had some very good news. They gapped this stock straight up once again. Good things are happening. From that gap, it's pulled back. Yes, it's at the major tops. However, there will be a further pullback. This was the news right now. ITMM. We're going to set all our alarms, because if we come down and test that 10 and 20, that 20-day simple moving average, I can tell you where that is. That's at 31.72, and that would be a support level right along with that 10-day at 33.18. Not only that, MMTs, that volume was fairly decent on Friday. It was a distribution like all of them on 7 million shares traded on Intermune. Got a lot going for it. Here we go with one that we've traded over the years, UTHR, United Therapeutics Corp. Oh yeah, look at the high that it hit going into December 31. Now, it's a great stock. Remember, it gapped up on good news and now it's fading back in. We will be going in on this one right away, and yes, it does have a daily sell signal. And yes, it's been an extreme bull run. And yes, the daily moving averages look terrible. However, we don't care, because our 60-minute charts are going to put us in these names. When we buy at support level, they're going to be the first ones that bounce with the least amount of risk. Here that super gap is on the news on what? United Therapeutics. Watch that trend line, MMTs. That's that major support level. And yes, I can even go back over here, MMT, and I can draw right where that consolidation was before that super duper gap. These will be, if we break that support level, we'd be looking at buying this one down there. It's ready to move. Here we go. We have one of our favorite ones, and we've been covering this one for years. It's INSY Therapeutics Inc. 2014, we consolidated, we broke to the highs, we pulled back to those support levels like I'm talking about right now, and what we're going to be doing in this sector. And then we had that major wall of support right there, here and now. So what I am going to say is, unlike all of them, it had a good news event. There was that gap. It's come down from where that news came out, and it's testing that major support level. And let me tell you where that 50-day simple moving average at 39.43. Believe it or not, as far as a 60-minute goes, now let's get that. That son of a bitch, I don't know how he did that, but he did that. And he did that. That's exactly right. That's that fucking super duper. Super duper. Say super duper. All right, super duper. There you go. Okay. He got that sucker. I just don't know how he did that. But here. All right. He did that with this one too. Look at that. Look at that. Major biotech. Motherfucker. Let's get that. Yeah. Dang. All right. We were just talking to ourselves, because we always like to have fun when we're doing that, because we're pulling up another great bellwether. So, 2014, we just can't believe how that thing had pulled back to that support level, and the kind of run that TECH Corp has been doing extremely well. The 200 simple day moving average now is going to be down here, and it's going to be right around that $82.60 area. Yes, it's broken down in all the key daily moving averages. Yes, they are going to get on sale. And this is how these kinds of names have been having profit taking. Here we go with the other one, PTCT Therapeutics. I want to show you that consolidation. Then I want to show you how we went straight up on a breakout and made the highs. We came right back and tested that support. And not only that, that is the price volatility. However, this thing is on fire. Every time when they get support, doesn't matter which one, they're going to do exactly what you see here. Hit that support level and rally up. Yes, this one just tested the 50-day simple moving average. That's this trend line right here. That's that white line. That is at currently the 50-day simple is at a very good area. That long wick right here was at 27.9. The 10 and the 20, which it's below now, the 10's at 31. The 20 is also 31.95 for the 20 simple, and they're both below it. So basically, the longer term rising 50-day simple moving average makes this a buy on the dip as well. And just remember, it doesn't matter what price ranges they're in. This is the best of the breed. And we can see where the buyer stepped in there, big time at that 50 simple day, which was this trend line right here, right where my pointer is, and going up there. We're all over this one. It has a great move. It can trade 3, 4, 5,000 shares. I'm going to show the complete index once again in that sector, in the Nasdaq biotech sector. Is yes, you're breaking that 50-day. You're below things. Yes, every bull has to have a setup to buy again. Now remember, the broader index is doing this. When I just showed all of our great stocks, they too are look just like this. One other thing I want to do is let you know that when these things come down, the leadership is going to bounce hard. I would also like to let you know that there is an ETF called IBB for the biotech. Yes, I'm going to show you the actual highs, the lows. Yes, it's below the 50, and let's take a look at those. That is 253. That is the 50-day simple. Yes, the 10 and 20 are broke. Yes, it's testing a major support level. Yes, it's got a lower support level down here where it had the breakout. It has all of that. And remember, this is one of the hottest ETFs out here. And we like going long when it comes down and hits support. It's still working the overbought level up. All eyes on IBB ETF. I'm going to conclude for now all of the great plays that we're going to be looking at. What was at top resistance levels are simply working off that overbought. But let me just tell you, it still will remain one of the hottest sectors in the Nasdaq component for the rest of this calendar year.